to work in Saudi Arabia regardless of what you're coming to do. Now, this is not only for nurses. This is, it's general. It's a general law. It's a general, regulation these people deal with. This is their culture, and this is their country. This is what they do, and this is what you're going to expect. Right. I'm actually shooting the gym today because, I feel healthy. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now, today is story time / do's and don'ts / cultural differences and shocks. I'm Regina, a registered nurse. If you're new here, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Today is my day off, and I was actually telling myself, you know what? I don't have to shoot that next video. I have a very long list of video topics that most people are asking about, and I need to shoot them. I write them in my notebook. I wanted to sleep, guys. I wanted to sleep. I didn't want to get up because I was tired. I was tired from a 12-hour shift yesterday, but you know what? I'm going to do it for you guys and for myself. I didn't want to stay in bed. I wanted to see people getting what, helping people, telling people what they want, what they have to do. When you help me, give me some information, tell me, I want to learn from you, and I want you to learn from me, and let's exchange this information. Tell me good things and I'll tell you good things. That's the vibe we are giving here. No negative energy. We are not supporting the negative energy. We know negative energy is everywhere, but you know what? We're not going to support it. You're going to expect if you're coming to live, to study, to do anything in Saudi Arabia. It's exciting, but it also comes with surprises and things that might shock you to your bones. So I'll share what I have experienced so far and what other people say. Now we're going to start with gender segregated public places. One of the first things I noticed when I arrived in Saudi Arabia was gender segregated places, especially in the public. In many places here, men and women have separate entrances like waiting areas and maybe restaurant sections, which you won't see in any other part of the world. Even in hospitals that we work in, there is a waiting area for women and a waiting area for men. Now one day we were taken to the bank, and the bank was written ladies entrance area, and when you get in there, it's only ladies. Men are the other side. You don't even see men. So the ladies branch was there, only ladies, and men were the other side. I was what's this? But yeah, that's how things are here. Even in restaurants, you might find a separate section for only women, and the other section is for only men, unless maybe people are married. Unless maybe you're married, you might want to sit on one table with your husband or with your wife. Apart from that, you're going to sit on the ladies area, and he's going to sit on the men's side. That's what I'm talking about. So what do you need to do when you find something, when you meet something like that? Do respect their culture. Don't just think and assume you can sit anywhere. My friend, you're going to be taken away. They might not take you away per se, but no one is going to come there and sit with you. You're going to just feel it. You're going to stand and go out and maybe walk away from that place, because if it's written there, men waiting area or ladies waiting area, you cannot just go and put your bag there and just sit. Here, no assuming. Everything is labeled. Women here, men the other side. That's how things are here. So you need to respect that thing. Don't assume you can sit anywhere. No, Please don't do that. Just don't assume. Sit where you're supposed to sit, go wait where you're supposed to wait, and you're going to get services, smoothly, and you're going to go back home. Secondly, dress code expectations. Let's talk about it. Saudi Arabia has a conservative dress code, especially for women. When it comes to nurses, fine. When it comes to nurses, female nurses might need to wear a abaya, especially when you're going outside. Now, I'm not talking about being in the hospital. No, I'm talking about if you're going outside the hospital premises, if you're not in your living private area, you need to wear an abaya, or maybe if not abaya, maybe you need to cover up. You need to cover up, maybe wear your something conservative, even if you might not cover your head, but you need to wear something conservative. In the hospital, most hospitals here, you can wear your scrub, and you need to cover your hair, at least 90% of your hair, with either a cap, or you can choose to wear hijab, a white hijab, which is fine, okay, which is fine. You won't go with your hair like everywhere, even if you've tightened it. You somehow need to cover that hair, because first off, you're working in the hospital. Secondly, just to avoid contamination and everything in the procedure, you need to cover this part of your hair. Now, this does not come to only women, even men in the hospital, they do that. They cover their hair here. Now, when it comes to that normal life, if you're in your private space, like with your family, or no one is going to tell you to wear a abaya or to cover that. You can wear however you want. I'm actually in the gym, and this is how I'm dressing, just to show you. No one is, I'm in the gym, there's no one. Shortcut on my sleeves. No one is going to tell you wear a abaya, no, what, cover your hair, no. But when you're going outside in cities or in public places, you need to cover up, maybe wear something that reaches your ankle, wear something long sleeved, like something that's not so tight on you, like showing us every part of your anatomy. No. Now, this might come different in places that are big cities like Riyadh. Riyadh is a little bit starting to get westernized. I don't know, but a lot of tourism, there are a lot of tourists coming in Riyadh. So maybe you might find some people who are not covered, like you don't have to cover your hair as for 2025, I guess, but you need to dress modestly, you see. So that's how things are here. So this law might not be so strict for men, but for men, you don't need shorts in public. Even if you need them, don't put them on. Like, wear your trousers, at least. Wear your trousers, or wear something long, maybe with a shirt and things like that. Because I don't see most men here like wearing shorts in public. You don't see it. Only maybe trousers and those long things. That's how it is. Maybe if you want to blend in, you just wear your black abaya, and that's it, because every woman here is in black. Working with Saudi patients, you people, when it comes to working with Saudi patients, the culture. Now here, Saudi culture places high value in how you address their patients respectfully. You cannot just call them someone. They have their hierarchy, so you don't just call them maybe you are no. At least try to address them like Mr., Mrs., or Miss, but most people you might find maybe the patient is in pain and things like that. If they are older people, you can call them, maybe you say something Baba or Mama, things like, trying to be polite, and most people do that, which is really, really good. It keeps you on a polite but professional angle when it comes to that. So it's very high regard when it comes to how you address your patients and their families here. Also, another thing when it comes to interacting with your patients is, don't assume physical contact is okay just because you're a nurse, just because you're a doctor. You think physical contact is okay. No. Some people prefer minimal interactions. Most people here prefer minimal interactions with people, especially when it's an opposite gender. So don't just assume like just because I'm a nurse, like I'll just interact with everyone like as if. No, some people might not want it and they might take it as disrespectful. Some people and patients and maybe families, they are so interactive and things like that. They'll be asking you like, where are you from, like we like your English. Maybe you find they don't even speak good English, they're like, you speak good English, we wish you knew English. And you tell them maybe I'm learning Arabic and things like that. They'll be asking you like, we are happy to see you, like how is your country. They'll want some kind of interaction. You say maybe our country is nice, so they'll ask you how do you find our food, our Arabic food, things like that. But some don't assume if they if they welcome that kind of interaction, you can interact with them. But when you feel like they don't allow that thing, keep your distance. Do your work, keep it professional. Just do your work and always ask for permission before you touch the patient. Ask them for permission before you touch them. You know, here they don't like allow this touchy just because you're a nurse, just because you're a doctor, you just want to touch everyone. Like you don't even inform them, you just go there, maybe you want to give them an IV, you want to give them an injection or you want to assess something, you just go there and just pull off the blanket and they're going to report you because they'll feel like you're disrespecting them. And this does not only apply in Saudi. You need to introduce yourself, say what you want to do, and the patient will allow you. Now, this reminds me of something I said in the other video. If you're a female nurse, if you're a female nurse, if you're a female doctor, you can work with whichever gender. You can work with all two genders, male and female patients. It's allowed. You can assess them, it's allowed. But when you are a male, if you are a male, whether it's a nurse, it's a doctor, but you're a male, you're not going to be allowed to assess a female. Now I'm talking about female. Assessing a female patient alone in the room is not allowed unless you have a nurse with you, a female nurse there. You need to be a male doctor, a male nurse with a female nurse with you there so that you can assess that female patient. No male here, whether a doctor is allowed to touch a female patient without a female being there. You are not going to assess that patient. No one cares you're a doctor, no one cares, the patient is not going to allow it. And here, some doctors maybe want to assess patients, maybe a patient has something somewhere, maybe on the abdomen, the doctor wants to see it. They might even call you, come, I need to assess, and you go there with the doctor. The patient might say, no, I don't want the doctor, or I don't want this man to see me. They're allowed to do that. It's autonomy. And this is everywhere. The patient can say no. The patient has the right to say no to you. Like I don't want you to attend me, and you're not going to do anything about it. You just write, document the patient like refused. She's not ready to do this and this, and maybe you can change the doctor for her, or might bring a female doctor to do it. And you should not feel offended. Actually, you should not feel offended when it comes to that kind of situation, because if you feel offended, it's they're right. They can decide who will touch them and who sees them. You can force them. So that's how it is. When it comes to that thing, you need to be respectful. Fourth, prayer times and religious practices. Now, when it comes to prayer times here and religious practices, do not be shocked when you find that most of the offices and shops and everything is closed and people have gone to pray. It's normal. It's normal because it's prayer time and they will go to pray. Most things here most things here will close at that time and they'll open when prayer time is over. So you need to schedule your appointments. Don't just assume like I can go there whenever and whatever time I want just because working there. I got news for you, that's not how it works in Saudi Arabia. You need to schedule your appointments and you need to be there when it's not prayer time. Otherwise, you just sit on the bench and wait outside and wait for prayer time to like end, And now when it comes to the hospitals, you might notice like not seeing people, like where are these people gone? I mean, they have gone to pray. And there's this friend of mine, a nurse, telling me like she had to give, I mean, she's a nurse and she just informed the doctor like he need to come to see the patient, and the doctor said, I mean, the doctor was not available at that time. The doctor had gone to pray. And I think when it comes to Saudi Arabia, that might not be considered as maybe malpractice, or you did something like you didn't come to see the patient. If the doctor or a nurse said like I had gone to pray, I mean, I don't think these people are going to like act or do something. No, it's normal. They have gone to pray and they'll be back. Maybe for you who are expert nurses that are non-Muslims, you're going to be there doing the work for the patient. It's not like they're going to leave all the patient unless it's an emergency. Now, unless it's an emergency, no one is going to like leave the patient who is code blue there and who has cardiac arrest, and they say, no, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to perform CPR for this patient. I'll have to go and pray and things. When it's an emergency, everyone is going to be there. They're going to do the work, things like. But when it's something that can wait, you're not going to see them unless it's prayer time. I mean, prayer time is over. They'll come back. That's how it goes. And maybe you might not see this in most countries. I only see it in Saudi. Don't be shocked. You need to respect them. Don't tell them like you have to do it. Things like that. No. Even during Ramadan, now when we talk about prayer times and religious practices, during Ramadan, in the coming months, it will be Ramadan 2025. I want to see how these things will go, and I'll give you the feedback. It will be my first Ramadan in Saudi Arabia. Hospital schedules adjust and things like that. We want to see how things are going during Ramadan in Saudi Arabia. So, yeah. Hospitality and social norms. Now, you know, these people are so kind. Saudis, they are actually kind, guys. You know, when I was like starting my process in Saudi Arabia, and some of people may be hearing like, I mean, some people usually say like, you're going to Saudi Arabia, this war is a Muslim country, and all Muslim countries are like they're never peaceful, like I don't know how to say, like they'll be saying that you're gonna die there. The countries are never peaceful. I mean, they're always fighting. They're always in war all the time, and wars everywhere. I mean, you can be in war at any place at any time. Fine. You know, some countries are not safe. I second that. Some countries are not safe. So, and I was asking myself like, how am I going to live in this country? Everyone's saying this country is full of like wars and you know. But when it comes to social hospitality and social norms, these people are so kind. They can, maybe you find a certain Saudi staff, maybe ordered maybe coffee for everyone, like coffee and what's this, and cookies for everyone. And they don't like do it so that you can do it back to them. They just do it like to be good people, you know. They just do it, so they don't just do it so that you can, I mean, do it back to them so that they can just throw it on your face like, I did this, you need to do it back. No. These people are so kind, and they might invite you for maybe food and things like that. They are so kind, really. When they offer you something, or when they give you something, they expect you to receive it with your right hand. I mean, this is everywhere. I don't think this is a Saudi kind of thing, because even in Tanzania, I don't expect to give you something and you just receive it with your left hand. That's so disrespectful. Now, even in Saudi, they take that in high regard, that if they give you something, you need to receive it with your right hand, and you need to say thank you. That's how things are. We also do that in Tanzania. So when you're greeting someone, you can nod your head and like give them eye contact, rather than maybe if they do not initiate handshake, especially when it's for women, how they greet here. Women hug each other and like they kiss each other on the cheeks. That's only women. Only women do that. And men to men, they greet each other, they handshake and they kiss each other on the cheeks like that, like 3 times or 4 times. They do that. I see them doing that. I've not seen a man and a woman like greeting like in a Western way, like on a cheek. You're going to go to jail. I don't know if you go to jail, but it's a shock. Everyone is going to be shocked, like, what are you doing? You see? So women greet women by hugging and giving that kiss like 3 times. Even men do that to men. I've not seen men and women like greeting like that. Here they'll be like, hello, assalamu alaikum. That's it. No touching, no what. If you're opposite genders, if you're same sex, you can greet like that. So that's how things are. Don't start initiating handshakes with men and no hugs with men just because you do that. Don't assume like he's going to hug you and give you kisses on the cheek. No, just don't do that. Wait, you go and do it at your home, somewhere else, not here. Laws and restrictions. Number 6, laws and restrictions. There are things that might shock you when you come here, when they tell you about laws and restrictions and things like that. Saudi Arabia has strict laws, and breaking them might have serious consequences. You need to follow social laws in, like maybe don't take alcohol and think they don't allow it. And when you're in public gatherings, follow their laws and restrictions that they tell you, like, don't do this. I mean, like, just don't do it, because if you want to live in peace, just don't do it. Just don't do it, because you're not going to die if you don't do it. If you don't take alcohol, you're not going to die. I mean, like, it's even healthy. Don't take it. It's healthy not taking alcohol. I personally don't take alcohol, so that's not a big deal for me. Like, I'll be missing alcohol or missing. I'm not an alcoholic, so it's not something that I miss. For those of you who take alcohol, maybe you're not drunkards, but you take alcohol. Just wait, you go take it at your home country. No one is going to like ask you why you're not taking it and things like that, So when you go in big cities, you might find people smoking shisha. Even Saudis themselves like smoking shisha. Now when it comes to smoking here, they don't, they allow people smoke. But not in public places like hospitals and things like that. People smoke here. They smoke. Even Saudis themselves, they smoke. But I'm not seeing someone's like drinking alcohol, smelling alcohol. No. But smelling smoke, like they've been smoking, I see that a lot here. I see that a lot. Also, when it comes to laws and restrictions, when it comes, let's say, to marriage and things about dating, and these people have their laws, guys. I have not seen it on a wedding since I arrived. Like, when am I going to even attend it? I'm in the hospital. But I've heard people here, like, they marry inside their families, like cousins and cousins. They are just brought together. They do arranged marriages a lot here. Like, there is no dating in a Muslim culture. There is no dating. Like, you just, when you're old enough, they just bring you, this family comes and they arrange, and yeah, you're married. So if you want to display, even if you're married, you're not going to be allowed to display the affection, like kissing, caressing, cuddling, everything that, go do it somewhere else. You'll be missing your husbands like forever. But you can do that thing when you're in your private space, not around people like that. In America, people do that. In Europe and everywhere, like, people do that. Even in Tanzania, now, even in Tanzania, you can hug if they're your boyfriend, your fiancé, your husband. There's nothing as boyfriend or fiancé. When in Saudi Arabia, it's only husband and wife. You're either single, married, or divorced. There is no in between. There is no in between. There is no in between here. People here, like, having to display and no affection. It's even rare seeing people even holding hands. With maybe their husbands, and no. He's your husband, she's your wife, but it's very rare seeing people like holding hands. You might see them maybe hugging just once in a while, but It's not a lot. It's not a lot. You only see it once in a while. I mean, if you have your husband, your boyfriend here on, and no, if you're not married, even I've heard something like this. I'm not sure about this one, the one I'm about to say, but I've heard people saying like, if 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 maybe you have a boyfriend and things like that, maybe let's say you are not Saudi, okay? You're not Saudi, or let's say generally, maybe you are Saudi or you are not Saudi, whoever. You're not going to be allowed to book a hotel or put I mean like set a reservation somewhere in a hotel or something like that with an opposite gender if you don't show a marriage certificate. Now you need to tell me, you Saudis, if you are a Saudi and you're here, or maybe you're not in Saudi but you've lived in Saudi Arabia and you know these kind of things, you need to tell me about this one. Like you need to show your marriage certificate just to book a hotel, or when you go somewhere like you need somewhere to sleep. I mean, you're not going to do that. If you're different, opposite genders, you're not going to do that. Opposite sex, you're not going to do that unless you're husband and wife. It's not like in Europe, like you put a reservation. I mean, like no one gives a damn whether you're married or you're not. I mean, people are just making money. But here, no, it's not going to be allowed. No one's going to allow that. If you're, I've heard about it. So you comment down on my comment down below. I mean, comment below and tell me, is that true? Or like you need to show your marriage certificate before you book a hotel? I mean, I don't know. I've heard people like going to nearest countries like Qatar, Bahrain, and not Kuwait or somewhere, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, I don't know. They go somewhere at least to like date. But when you come back in Saudi Arabia, you're not going to do that unless maybe you go somewhere else and do what you want to do. But here, like dating, going on a date and not in a restaurant, and then no, unless you're husband and wife. So you're not going to display those things. Public display of affection, PDA, you're going to go to jail. Now we are done. Those are some of the cultural shocks, whether it's in healthy care, whether it's in, I mean like generally coming to Saudi, you're going to find those things and you're going to be shocked. But here's the thing, when you think about it, it's not like something that's going to kill you. I mean, personally, an open-minded person, and I mean like I don't care. I don't care if it's not something that's going to kill me. Or now what's the if they tell me to go and wait somewhere, like men are going to wait there and women are going to wait here. Even if you're married, waiting area for men is waiting area for men. Waiting area for women, it's waiting area for women. If they say this bank is somewhere an entrance for women, just because you're married, you're not going to enter in there with your wife. They're not going to allow you. You're going to stay outside. So that's how things are. It's something that takes 2 minutes and I'll be done. I'll just go. I mean, just try to respect people's culture and do obey to everything they like their culture, unless just go back to your home. If you can do that, I mean, pack up your things and go home. Pack up your things and go back to what you're used to, because you're not going to assume your laws, and you're not going to assume your culture and bring it in other people's and start throwing it on their faces. You're going to end in jail. That's my advice. You need to adjust, you need to be flexible. If it's not something that can even change, it's not going to change you. Wearing an abaya, like these people asking on the internet, like, you're Christian, like, why are you wearing a abaya? What do you mean? I'm in a Muslim country, what do you expect? Of course I'm going to wear an abaya. I'll wear an hijab. I'll wear hijab. I mean, it looks good on me. It looks good on me. It's not like I'm going to be wearing it forever, but I feel so good when I wear it. Like, it's not something I've grown up wearing. And when you put it on, you feel like you're blending in. You feel like how these people feel when they wear it. So adjusting is real good if you want to live in peace. Not only in Saudi, but everywhere in the world. When you go in people's houses, or you cannot visit someone's house, someone's family, and start putting your own laws in that house, in that home. You're just a visitor. If you think like you can't stand what's going on, I mean, like, just stand up and leave. Just stand up and leave. Don't throw your things in people's faces. Like, that's how peaceful. Try to be open-minded. There are these people who think like, now when it comes to, I've forgotten to talk about like prayer. When it comes to prayer and religion, in Saudi Arabia, there aren't churches, like physical churches. Now I'm talking about the building with a cross, like physically, like you can see it. I've not seen it. To be honest, I've not seen it. We only go to a certain community, and thanks to these Philippines, they are really good at creating these communities, and they created that community, a certain area. It's like a small building where, and I see inside, it's not like you're gonna see it outside, it's inside where you go and pray, and most of us there, Philippines there, and I actually met some people from Argentina. I don't know how they call Argentinians, I don't know. Yeah, people from there, Ghanese, the Ghanaians or Ghanese, Jesus, English is hard. People from Ghana, fine. And people from Nigerian, things like that. So it collects a lot of people, and you go there and worship for service. And it's the Saudi government, it's not like it's not against you having to worship your God, but you do not have to throw it on their faces. You don't have to like try to convert them, to make them revert to, to Christianity, to make them not believe in Jesus. I mean, believing is personal. If you, like, everyone will arrive alone, whether it's in heaven or in hell. So do not throw that thing in people's faces. Let your life reveal Jesus. Let your life reveal what you believe in. I mean, do not try to convert them. Now when you start, preaching, telling them, like, you need to be Christians, like, you need to believe in Jesus. Why do you believe in Muhammad? Who is Allah in the first place? You're going to end in jail. You're going to end in jail. Otherwise, just pack your things and leave. Okay? So, practicing your religion is not forbidden, but you don't have to throw it in people's faces. If they are Muslims, no one told you, like, you have to be Muslim just to work as a nurse here. They received you the way you are. You're Christian, you're whatever, you're Muslim, non-Muslim. They received you the way you are. So try to respect them for respecting you. That's what they want. Respect them for respecting you. Don't throw your culture. Don't throw what you believe in people's faces. If you can take what they tell you, just live with what the law says, and that's how you're going to survive in this country. So those are some of the cultural shocks, and that's my advice to those who want to come in Saudi Arabia. If you think that you cannot survive with those laws and do's and don'ts, stay in your own country or go choose somewhere else to go. That's my gentle reminder. Choose somewhere else to go before you come here and start doing things and assuming like this is going to be this way and just end up being deported. Okay? That's how it is. Comment down below what culture shock has really shocked you, and what do you think maybe what's more. If you're Saudi, you need to tell me what's more to these cultures. Maybe there is something more, or just tell me like what thing has shocked you about this culture. You tell me. Thank you so much for being with me, and see you in my next video. This is Regina. Goodbye. We are free and going